Hi my friends, in today's video we will do a step-by-step carving of a Santa Claus magnet for the fridge. Hi my friends, how are you? I hope everybody's fine. My name is Daniel Villarino. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to make a small carving of Santa Claus to put with a magnet on the fridge. So basically it's a fridge magnet. We are going to use this piece of basswood. It's a triangular section. Basically it was a square section. I cut it all along and then I made a perforation on the back to be able to glue there the magnet. And we are going to use this corner to make the carving because that will facilitate the carving of the nose for the Santa Claus. So that's today's project. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get to work. I have made myself a simple jig with a piece of 2x4 so I can cut the blanks I need for the carving. As you can see, I did a couple of 45-degree cuts in the table saw. First, I did one in one direction, then I rotated the piece 180 degrees and I did the other cut. From there, I brought it to the bandsaw and I placed the fence so that I could do a cut right through the middle. But I cut only until a little more than halfway. This jig will allow me to cut the square section blanks and get triangular section blanks in a precise and safe way. I will initiate the cut sliding against the fence the jig with the square section blank on top, but once I reach about half, I will slide just the blank to finish the cut. As a measure of safety, the bandsaw top guides should be lower, but so that I could show better the cut, I kept them a little higher. And so I get two triangular section blanks to carve the Santa Claus. The same jig will help me in doing the perforations where I will attach the magnets. I lower the bit until it touches the good blank. I had the two nuts in such a way that they did reach the stop when the bit reached the surface. And now I am going to raise them the depth I want for the perforation. Then I can make the perforation. The magnet fits well in the perforation and it is just a little proud, so it will make a nice contact with the metal. And so are ready the blanks for the carving. On a piece of plywood I glued a piece of leather and now I am smearing it well with the honey compound. I place the knife bevel flat against the leather and I slide it. When I reach the end, I do not rotate the knife until I lifted it from the leather. And then I repeat the procedure in the other direction. If I rotated the knife over the leather, I will be rounding the sharp edge. Performing this honing every 15 to 20 minutes, you keep the sharp edge in optimal condition. I make a line where I want the rim of Santa's bonnet. And I make another mark where I want the base of his nose. To avoid confusion, I mark with an N the base of the nose. I am going to do a stop cut at the nose mark. This cut is perpendicular to the edge. From there, I will do a push cut coming from below until I reach the stop cut. Here you can see it from the side. Now I am going to round the edge above the hat's mark. Since from the tip of the nose to the bridge there is an inclination, I will initiate these cuts a little lower to begin to form that inclination. Here you can see it from the side. Then I work a little more in rounding edges. Below the nose there will be the mustache, the lips and the beard. So here I can also round the edges. As you can see, I begin with cuts to eliminate the main sharp edge and then cuts that eliminate the new sharp edges formed by the new flat surface I have been forming. So they will not sink in the hand and produce an uncomfortable feeling, I also eliminate the side sharp edges. In any case, towards the top I will remove material to make the bonnet, and towards the bottom I will remove material to form the beard. I will mark a line that will delimit the brim of Santa's bonnet. With the knife I will be marking stop cuts over that line, and I will be removing some material from below it. In this way I am defining the part where the head enters inside Santa's hat. With the pencil I mark two lines to show the width of the nose. It is better to make it a bit wider at the beginning and then refine it than making it too thin. I make a cut along the line that I mark, but I try not to do it so it will go towards the nose center. Instead I will go a bit towards the opposite side. Then, forming an angle, I make another cut just on the line of the hat, and with the tip of the knife I separate a small wooden chip. This forms the eye sockets. I repeat the process for the other eye, trying to keep symmetry. Now I repeat the process, but this time with shorter and deeper cuts, very close to the nose bridge. The shape produced by this depth will give the illusion of Santa's eyes, just below the bonnet rim. At the same time, this begins to shape the upper part of the cheekbone just below the eye. I will remove the tips of the nose with 45-degree cuts to begin to round it. I continue the process of refining the nose, making sweeping cuts, trying to make the bridge a little thinner, rounding the surfaces so the impression will be of a stubby and rounded nose. Like every facial feature, the shape of the nose will give its identity to the Santa we are creating. If instead of a Santa we were carving a wizard, a thinner and pointier nose will provide probably a more stern and mysterious aspect. Due to the delicate of this area, I am making multiple cuts, removing very little material in each one. Although I am showing these images at double this regular speed, I didn't take my time in doing this process, working with patience little by little. With the pencil I delineate the mustache. Once again, a fat mustache with the tips pointing up gives a little the impression of a smile, while a long mustache with the tips pointing down will probably go better for a wizard. I am going to make two incisions forming an angle towards the tip of the nose and following the mustache lines, and then I will remove a small chip between these cuts. On the top of the mustache, I am going to make another triangular cut following the nose line and the top of the mustache. This accomplishes three things. The first is to delineate the mustache itself. The second is to define the bottom part of the cheekbone. And the third is to make the nose appear to have more depth. The arrow in the inset shows the difference. To highlight the mustache, I am going to make stop cuts going with the knife in a perpendicular fashion following the mustache line, and then I will do a big cut in diagonal, reaching that stop cut so the mustache will be proud of the rest of the surface. When we repeat this process for the bottom part of the mustache, we have to have special care, and particularly with the second cut, the one that is done diagonally, so that we don't undercut and remove the tip of Santa's mustache. I mark the limit of the bottom lip and I make cuts similar to the ones for the mustache, so it will be highlighted over the beard. Now I even up the beard surface so all of it will be more or less at the same level. I am going to make a few little V-cuts parting from the eye corner so it will look like the lines formed when Santa is laughing. I begin to do roughing cuts to form the general shape of the beard. The beard is another aspect of the face that can really mark substantial differences. It can end in a point, or in two, or be rounded. It can go to the middle, to one side or the other, like pushed by the wind. It can be thick or thin. Different beard appearances will give different expression to the carving, so it is recommended to experiment and take notes of the different characteristics of each beard. As we saw in the case of the dolphin carving, many times we had to take into consideration the grain direction and make cuts in the direction where we see that we are not producing a tear out of the fibers. Many times, to form a cove, we will have to work in one direction first and then meet these cuts with cuts that come from the opposing direction. In the case of this Santa, I am trying to give the beard a certain movement. Imagine that he was doing the delivery of the gifts on a windy snowstorm night. Towards one side, on the hat part, I will do a few V-cuts to establish the bottom limit of the pom-pom of Santa's hat. Then I stop myself for a second or two and I realize that I need to leave some space for the white base of the hat, so I mark it with a pencil and I begin to carve it. The process is similar to what we have been doing so far, to mark stop cuts and then proceed to cut with an angle to remove the wooden chip. It is always a good idea to pay attention to the details, like for example, eliminate little wood fibers that are hanging, rounding the edges so that the white part of the bonnet will look plusher and fluffier, and marking better the part where the head gets inside the bonnet. Before I keep going, and the same way I did with the beard, I will even up the surface of the hat, and then I will begin to work on the shape of Santa's hat. With the pencil I mark the pom-pom location and also the approximate shape of the hat. The pencil is of help because allows us to plan the cuts, otherwise we run the risk of making mistakes and removing more material than we need. With a stop cut and a big cut, I give shape to the top part of the pom-pom, and from there I keep shaping the top part of Santa's hat. I will eliminate some sharp edges in the pom-pom to give it a more rounded shape. Also, I will work on the part of the bonnet that falls on the side, marking the separation with the rest of the hat, and where we have the fold. I am going to make a few small big cuts, so it will look indeed as the fold of the hat's cloth. I work in trying to keep a certain symmetry for the hat, and I look the figure from the front, from one side and from the other to find the areas where I need to remove more material. A small plastic brush can help us to remove some fuzzies and small shavings to give us a cleaner look of the figure we are carving. I use a small U-shaped gouge of 1.5 mm to begin to shape the beard movement. I tried that the cuts of the gouge will follow the general direction that I have given with the knife. I turn around the carving and now, very carefully, I do some shortcuts that will reach the bottom part of the mustache, so it will give the impression that the beard comes from below it. Now I take a big gouge that will make even finer cuts than the previous one, and with this one I will go both on the cones and the beads left by the U-shaped gouge. This way we will give a more detailed impression of the beard separate hairs. With the same V-shaped gouge, I will give texture to the mustache, both in the beard as in the mustache, and particularly if you are going to paint the carving, we could avoid doing these cuts and simply simulate them with paint. With the U-shaped gouge I will be scooping small shavings from the white part of the hat to give texture to that part. To paint the carving I am going to use acrylic paint. There is a recommendation that comes after doing my first brush strokes. Do not load too much paint in the brush. You do not want the paint to fill in and erase the details that you have done with the gouges. For the mustache and the beard I am simply using white paint, but please feel free of using the colors you consider go best. In my particular case I am colorblind. I am not the best advisor in terms of coloration. I am going to mix just a little bit of butter color, at least that is what the label says, with the white, to form a slightly yellowish white and paint with that the light part of the hat. I was a bit careless and painted outside the lines, but since I will paint the hat and the face, I will have to be more careful when I do that. I will use the same color for the pom-pom. I have this bright red for the hat. This acrylic paint dries pretty fast and has a very nice satin finish when dry. As you can see, I am being more careful when painting close to something already painted, but if you make a mistake, do not despair. You can always touch up with the other color once the first one is dry. For the skin, I got the yellowish white that I used before and added a tiny drop of cacao brown and another of butter color. I consulted with Paula, who told me that it was a kind of flesh color, as if Santa has been sunbathing on the beach. That was close enough for me, and I used it for the face. Perhaps I could have left the face the color of the basswood, but the paint provides a little protection and besides keeps the satin finish even with the rest of the carving. To glue the magnet, I am going to use a CA glue of medium consistency that was sent to me by the friends of Starbond. This CA glue is a bit slower in setting than the thin CA glue and gives you more opportunity to place the magnet in the correct position. It is excellent to glue good and also the material of the magnet. Just a minute and it will be ready. The truth is that this was a funny project, and once you get used to the process, you carve them faster and faster, and they are a nice gift for this time of the year. Okay, my friends, I have finished the carving of the Santa Claus fridge magnet and I already gave it away. So you can see it's a very nice gift to give in the holidays. I have these other two that I also carved, and as well as this one that looks like a wizard and this one that looks like a Cossack. And this one was one of the first, so I was practicing, trying to see how it went. People who are good carvers and they are fast, they say that they can do it in 5 minutes. It took me a bit longer, but as soon as you begin doing them, you gain experience and they can be carved faster and faster. I hope you enjoyed the video. If that's the case, please don't forget to mark the like button below, make comments, and if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please do so. There will appear the button to facilitate the subscription. And it will be until the next one. Cheers!